And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Being a reviewer is a very interesting thing because you get to play some absolutely bad games at times. Because people send you anything and everything. You get, those big games that come out every year that are just, they're going to be good. Or even if they're not good, they're going to be spectacular. But it's those smaller games that you're never sure about. And sometimes you play 3 or 4 of them, you say, why do I do this? But I'll tell you, because every once in a while comes along a little one that I get such a delight out of, such an enjoyment out of. Now, Construction Zone is basically one mechanic. One really good mechanic. A mechanic I thought, I wouldn't mind seeing that in another game. And maybe it is another game and people can remind me, but this game just went so fast. It's about collecting resources and building buildings. There's luck in it, but I just got a kick out of it. Let me show you what I like. In this game, you have to build a certain number of buildings before everybody else. There's 3 stacks of buildings up here, and let's take a closer look at those. Each of these buildings has different requirements. For example, this one here needs 5 steel and 5 paper. This one needs 2 people and 2 cranes, and this one needs a person, 4 paper, and a crane. Okay, so they need different resources to build. Players are going to have a handful of cards, but these cards are going to simply be cards that are steel or paper. This draw pile here is steel or paper. Now on your turn, you can take 2 cards, or you must take 2 cards. So I say, okay, I want these 2, and then those 2 are replaced, and I add these to my hand. I don't have to, discard any 2 cards from my hand into the discard pile, and take one of these higher, upgraded ones. This one is worth 3 steel, 3 paper, and then here's the crane, and here's the workers. So I can discard 2 of those and take a person in my hand, or I can keep those. It's up to me. You must draw 2, but you may discard 2 to take one of these resources. And then, other than that, the only other action is simply to use cards in your hand, discard them, and take one of the buildings and place it in front of you. Now, what makes the game very interesting is, as you build these buildings and discard these better goods, they go into this discard pile, which when this pile runs out, and it won't take very long, this pile shuffled back into it, the discard pile, so pretty soon you're going to start seeing better resources showing up here. So you have to look at these 3 piles of buildings here and get the resources that you need to build them. Once someone has a certain number of buildings in front of them, I think in a 4-player game it's 7 buildings. Oh, it's 5 buildings in a 4-player game, 7 buildings in a 3-player game, and 10 buildings in a 2-player game. Once you do that, the game's over. It's that simple. I really don't know what else to tell you. The game is just that enjoyable. I really like this Construction Zone. The idea of playing those cards. First you get basic resources, and do you want to hoard up a whole bunch of those and build buildings that need just basic resources, or do you want to trade them in for the better ones? When the better ones start showing up, are you going to grab them now, or are you going to build a building if you can? And it's not hard. But it's just neat. It's neat how that draw pile, initially you're like, 2 resources? Why do we even have a draw pile? Because eventually other resources get mixed into it. It's a very simple mechanic. It's a very simple game. I can't make this review much longer because there's not much more to talk about, but I got a kick out of it. It was very easy to teach, very easy to play, and as the game went on, the decisions got quicker and quicker, and it's kind of a race game to be the first one to build buildings. A race game with card management, basically, and it's a lot of fun.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.
Shut the door!
That's right. Shut it.
There.